Hey everybody, welcome to BBQ Champs Academy Live. It is so great to be with everybody today, and we are extremely excited to have that man right there, Mr. Six-time world champion Mark Lambert in the house. Hello Mark, how are you doing?
Hello, hello.
Yes, sir. So I can't wait. This is going to be a great show, and been looking forward to getting you on here, Mark. And just had so much stuff going on and trying to get everybody done. And last week we had Steve. I had to bring him in after he had done so good at his competition that he done after taking Corey's class. So
That was cool.
we're going to give everybody a few minutes to come in. I steadily see some folks. Hey, if you're coming in, give us a shout. Let us know. You can comment. We'll try to grab some of them comments and throw up on the screen to let folks know that you are here. We hope we get as many of our barbecue family as possible. I know one thing. I don't know about you, Mark, but I sure am missing cooking. It's
Man, you know, it's kind of nice staying close to home, but at the same time, you can't get out and do, can't get out and do what we love
I know it.
and spread the gospel of barbecue and, see all of our barbecue brothers. So it's nice to stay grounded a little bit, but man, I'm like you,
Yeah,
I'm itching.
I'm ready to go. I'm jonesing to go cook. So steadily got people coming in. Once again, hey, if y'all come in, give us a comment. Let us know. I certainly gonna give everybody a few more minutes as everybody starts to come in. We'll take this time to thank all of our partners here on Barbecue Champ Academy Live. We got some great guys behind us and helping us out. Be Extreme Barbecue, Mr. Danny Helm and Miss Kay. It's just super nice folks. Our boys over at B&B Charcoal. I know Mark, you are a big proponent of B&B.
B&B all
Um, I'm telling you, it's good charcoal. We got them on board. Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop, Mr. Brian Crawford. I know he sells your product. One of the things, if you have got classes from Barbecue Champs Academy and you are needing a source of a one-stop shop to get it all, um, give Brian a call at Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop. He's probably got about 95% of the rubs used in all of our classes. I even asked him, hey, you got Mark stuff? He said, man, I got everything. So make sure that you hit Brian up at Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop. He's got about every rub imaginable, sells grills and charcoal, and man, he's got an amazing store. He also owns Crawford's Barbecue Pit Products. He's got some awesome rubs that I've been playing around with. Our boys at Lumberjack Charcoal. This is a lump coal, and I'm telling you, I did a little product review on that stuff on Saturday. I've been cooking on it 3 or 4 times, and man, I absolutely love it. It's a great blend of oak, alder, and birch, 60, 20%, and 20%. It's really good, burns clean, no chemical smell. And if you're looking for another charcoal, if you're having problems needing a lump, that's a good one. Texas Pepper Jelly, our boy Craig Sherry, he's got some awesome products. Gunnar Wilhelm, David is an awesome guy. Mark, you introduced me to those knives when you was down here doing your class. I spoke with David yesterday, and we may be trying to slide David in here. You know, knives are a very important thing in the barbecue arsenal. And I was talking to him yesterday, and I was like, man, I'd like to maybe get you on the show because there's so much to learn about knives and stuff. So certainly want to give David a shout out with Gunnar Wilhelm and our boy John Lindsay with Arcasippy Smoke Live. We always try to help promote them, and they do likewise for us. Looks like we got about 32 of them on here as of now. And I think it's about time we get started. Let's see who we got on here. Well, obviously, Danny's always first to be here. Glad to have you here. We got Bill Purvis, great IBCA cook. I had spoke with him earlier. Matter of fact, I think you talked to him earlier today about an old hickory that you've got, and he was asking me about it. And
Yeah,
I said, yeah, it's a great, great, great smoker. So got Ronald Burns. Oh my gosh, look who's on here.
my
Joey,
squirrel from another mother.
Joey Smith. Joey, glad to have you on. Ashley Hanson, Brian Robertson. Hey, buddy, what's up? We also got Mr. Terry Roan. Hey, Mr. Terry, glad to have you here. It's time to get started. We certainly appreciate everybody here. Hey, if you're got a question for Mark, if you got a certain thing that you'd like to know, little information about whatever the products that he has, give us a shout out. I'll go through these comments as we get rolling. And that's what this is all about. We want to be able to kind of pick the mind of the pitmasters. And like we were saying earlier, Mark is the pitmaster of Sweet Swine of Mine competition team. He is a 6-time world champion. You have got to be probably one of the most decorated uh, barbecue guys that I know of. I know you've won 4 Memphis in Mays. That is a huge accomplishment, Mark.
Well,
And
when you think about it, it's 4 first places. So Memphis in May is the World Championship of Pork. So
right,
we won 4 first place pork shoulders in Memphis in May.
right.
We won 2 seconds and a third as well.
Wow, that's unbelievable. And then you've got, I know you won the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And also, now you had a first place rib at the American Royal, didn't you?
In 2017, we sure did.
2017. I'm telling you, it just don't get any better than that. Well, Mark, I want to ask you a few questions, buddy. And how did you get started in all this barbecue wisdom that you've got going on? I mean, did you have somebody that was a big inspiration of you when you was young, or?
I really didn't start cooking barbecue until I'm going to say until I moved to the Memphis area. I'm from Southeast Oklahoma. Not a big barbecue community there. Just barbecuing was kind of grilling, and so I really didn't know much about barbecue or pulled pork, or for that matter, until I moved to Memphis. And my first job out of college was at a phone company, and I met a friend of mine in the phone company. He introduced me to barbecue, and which was pulled pork or pulled pork shoulder. And his daddy taught him. He's from the Boot Hill, Missouri, and we started cooking Memphis in May. And our team was a phone company, so we had a hospitality booth
Right,
in Memphis in May.
right.
But some of the guys like to compete, and some of the guys have been doing it a long time, and took me under their wing and showed me about how to cook and about low and slow barbecue, not just grilling. And so a lot of those guys helped me learn what their daddies taught them about barbecue. And whenever my buddy that introduced me to barbecue, whenever he passed away, I took over as pitmaster of the team. And it was at that point that I really just had to take over and learn my own way and make my own way with my own flavor profile and sort of just elevating the processes and the techniques that they had shown me, and just growing it and making it better. And so our flavor profile and our process has been an evolution, but it all started from my buddy Jody Bryant in the Boot Hill, Missouri, that taught me the basis of what I know that his daddy taught him. So didn't know much about it until I moved here and got out of college. But in 2001, essentially, is when I had to take over as pitmaster of the team and had to sort of, blaze my own trail. And at that point, we just had to find our own way and improve upon what we've been taught. And in 2005, that year when my buddy passed away in 2001, we placed 9th place at Memphis in May.
Wow.
He died, he died the Saturday before Memphis in May. And so we were kind of, trial by fire. We were thrown in, and we had to do it on our own in the midst of a funeral and everything. So we got 9th place, and we felt like that was sort of our beginning of taking barbecue a little more seriously and instead of not only having fun with it, but taking it seriously from a competitive standpoint.
Right.
And some other folks like Pat Burt from Tower Rock Barbecuer, or Apple City at the time, and then on to Tower Rock Barbecue. Pat Burke is in the Barbecue Hall of Fame, and he was instrumental in helping us along the way find our way and look at our score sheets and find out what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, and helping us. So Pat Burke he's the inspiration that a lot of you guys know.
Right.
Helped us get going.
Right. Now you said that was in 2001. Was that your first Memphis in May, Mark?
No, first Memphis in May was in 1996, I think it was.
So you got about 5 years under your belt, and then you took over.
I took out the trash and chopped the garnish and all that. I wasn't the cook. I was watching and learning, but I took over as the cook in 2001.
Did you start out cooking Memphis in May, or had you cooked some KCBS or some?
No, it was all Memphis in May.
Yes, it was
I don't recommend it.
Go big or go home, huh? Wow, man, alive.
That's just where we started, and that was we had that spot, that hospitality spot in Memphis in May, and the phone company funded it, and it was just a big party, and we brought all of our high-end VIP customers in and entertained, and it's just the way it worked. I wouldn't make that plan again if I had to plan out a route in
Right.
competition barbecue, that would not be the way I would do it again.
Right. That's a tough route right there. Especially on a newbie starting out. Man alive.
That's right.
Wow. So how long, so 2001 you took over. When did you get your first world champion? What year?
2005.
Wow.
Yep, 2005. We took first place shoulder at Memphis in May, and you know, we spent a lot of time. We got a brand new cooker in 2005, a Backwoods Pro Junior, and spent some time dialing it in, and really found our niche and sort of found our way. Throughout the years, we had, low and slow had always been our MO. It's what I was taught, but we had found that we did better. We had a better finish, and we had better results whenever we were running behind and played catch up at the end.
Right.
So we just decided to change our complete MO to that, to make sure that we did low and slow with a hot finish. And when we did low and slow with a hot finish, we found that we wound up with a bark on the outside of the meat that no one could really compete with at that level.
Wow.
And so we wound up with super tender inside and this really wonderful, sweet and smoky, savory bark on the outside due to finishing hot.
Yeah, put that hot, it builds that crust on it, gets that bark. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was our MO. Finish hot and finish fast. And everybody said, you're walking around the competition, if Lambert's not hitting 300, then he ain't gonna do very well. And usually if I'm pushing over 300, then it's going to be a good day. So that's when we really started doing well, is when we started finishing hot.
I see.
Terry asked what all categories they do at Memphis in May. It's pork only, Terry. It's a hog, shoulder, and rib, and it's whole shoulder, which contains 2 shank bones, an arm bone, and a blade bone. So it has to have all of those bones involved, and then it has to be a whole hog over 85 pounds, and that you can remove the head, but it has to weigh 85 pounds at least. And then ribs, and it can be spare ribs or baby back ribs. It doesn't matter.
Do most people cook baby back for Memphis in May, Mark?
Most people cook baby backs for Memphis in May, or MBN, Memphis Barbecue Network, kind of is the sanctioning body now that follows those rules,
right?
So to speak. But yeah, baby backs is generally a Memphis thing. Spare ribs are good, and the further north you go, Kansas City and all above, spare ribs are king. But here, baby backs rule.
Baby back rule. I thought I had seen that. I'd seen Malcolm Reed before I ever got into barbecue. I had seen some of his videos, and he was always real big prepping for that, cooking baby back ribs and stuff. So, because I didn't really know a whole lot. Heck, I'm kind of new to all this barbecue stuff. I've only been doing it about 6 years. So.
And a little different too. They like to, in KCBS when they turn ribs in blind. Memphis in May, you do an on-site presentation and you turn in a blind box. So the difference that you see in the way that they prep the blind box is they turn in 2 bones. So the judges like to grab a 2-bone section, and a lot of the tenderness is judged not just by the bite, but how those bones pull apart and how the meat sticks to the bone. So you turn in some people call it a Hollywood cut, which is 2 bones with meat all the way around.
Hollywood cut with a bone on each side.
Yeah.
Wow, really? Okay.
So that's usually how they turn them in, and typically in order to get a large number of Hollywood cuts in a box, to make it look good, usually they use a bandsaw to cut down the ribs, to cut some of the chine bone and some of the curve out of it, because a baby back has got a curve to it.
Yeah.
And if you cut some of the chine bone off of it, it's going to flatten it out to where it fits in the box a little easier.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So little pro tip right there for the Memphis in May cooking the baby back ribs. Yeah, you're right. They do. It's a shorter rib, and it does have a whole lot more curve to it. So.
And then so if you cut some of that out, instead of just having to lay them flat in the box, you can stand them up a little more to where they don't, when you cut some of that off, they don't hit the lid when you close it, and you can sort of shingle them in the box where they look really nice. I
got you. That's pretty neat. So, yeah, if anybody else has got any more questions, fire off. I mean, Mark's here to kind of answer some of this. I know a lot of people are kind of wanting to go cook a Memphis in May. I've had several people like, hey, what do you think about it? And I was like, man, I don't know. I've never been. And my plan this year was to go up there and hang out with you. And then it got canceled. And then today, I guess you heard, it's kind of flying across the barbecue wires. The American Royal got canceled today.
I know. Those are our last hurrah.
Yeah, I'm telling you. You think they can take everything away from us. So, Anyway, well, Terry's got another question. Does any teams try to cook all three categories? And if so, do they win in all three, or do they do well in all three?
In Memphis in May, you have to pick your strong suit. You can only compete in one category.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that. So man, all right, Terry. Well, you and I both learned something right there. So you
Yep.
can only cook one.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
You can only cook one category, and the on-site presentation and the blind scores are combined. The blind's about 60% of your score. The on-site's 40% of your score, and those are combined to create what they call the final round. And the final round is the top three competitors, the top three combined scores in each category. So you will have the top three ribs, top three shoulders, and the top three hogs that all go on to a new contest. And that new contest is the finals. And it's a clean slate. Everything is wiped clean. It's a whole brand new contest. And the three shoulder finalists are competing against the rib and the hog teams. So it's heads up, a whole brand new contest. But the game is a little different. It's just a final round of on-site presentation only. You do not turn another box in.
Okay.
So presentation means a lot more in that final round.
I got you. Well, Seth asked a question. What's a good way to put a bark on the money muscle?
Putting bark on a money muscle is essentially you have to create more surface area. So that means you have to carve that money muscle out of the butt just a little bit so that it lays out. You have to perform some separation, meaning that you have to pull a little bit of that unwanted meat away and create a void so that you get more air and more surface area for more rub all the way around.
Yeah,
that's really the main thing. It helps it cook a little bit faster too.
Yeah. Look who showed up.
Eddie.
Oh, Sterling, I tell you what, man, we had a large time, didn't we, filming them backyard barbecue classes? And,
oh,
man, that was unbelievable.
There's some good grub.
Oh, it was so good. I must have gained 10 pounds that week.
I've cooked Smitty's his bread pudding. I can't tell you how many times since then. Thanks, brother.
Oh, my gosh.
Fire.
That bread pudding that he did for our backyard barbecue class was unbelievable. I think it's crazy. We cook a dessert, right? The only dessert we do 20 meats. I think we all probably like that one as good and better than anything else. So,
and we were introduced to Craig Sherry's berry medley habanero jelly to drop on top.
Oh my gosh, that was put it over the top. I stole the show, man, but I bet you he's doing it now. So, all right. So, Brian Robb is another. How many pork shoulders do you cook at Memphis in May?
We cook 10. So
10? Wow.
Yeah, they're about 24 pounds to 22 pounds pre-trim, and we cook 10 of them. Keep in mind, you're cooking a pork shoulder for 7 to 8 perfect bites.
Yeah.
So you get 7 to 8 perfect bites out of each shoulder, and that's with no mess ups.
Yeah.
So we found where those perfect bites are. We know how to go to them. We know how to protect them, and we know how to get them out of the shoulder really quickly and get them trimmed and prepped and into a box to where it looks nice. Yeah. So it takes, if you think about it, you have an on-site presentation, you've got to have 3 shoulders for those. That's 3 whole shoulders, 1 for each on-site judge. Then you have to build a blind box. So think about a blind box for 6 judges. You've got only 7 to 8 perfect bites in a pork shoulder, and you got to fill the box up to make it look right. So it takes generally about 4 whole shoulders to fill that blind box to get those 7 or 8 perfect pieces.
Right.
And then so that right there leaves you with 3 leftovers. So guess what? You really need 2 whole shoulders for finals.
Right.
Because 1 whole shoulder leaves you a little bit short of those perfect bites.
Right.
So you need 2 whole shoulders in order to be able to give those 4 judges that's standing in front of you some of those perfect pieces, and to give each of those 4 judges more than just 1 piece of it. Give them a piece of the shank, or a piece of the pork brisket that's on the bottom of the shoulder, or a piece of the picnic, or a piece of the money muscle, or a piece of a tube, or a piece of bark. So all of those little pieces, right, you need to try to give each one of them a little bit of each. So when we do finals, Amy Milam, one of my teammates and one of the co-founders of the team, she stands next to me, and we mirror each other. So everything we do is in unison, and she feeds 2 judges and I feed 2 judges. and we stand at
Wow.
the table and we pull it in unison so that each judge gets a lot of face time and a lot of eye contact and a lot of pampering and all the perfect pieces.
Wow. Well, Glenn has got a question. He's talking about a great class. I think Glenn took your class here just not too long ago. Your all access class. I'm almost 90% sure.
Yeah,
He's
we were
got a
talking
he.
about doing a little Memphis in May class here at Barbecue Champs. We haven't got
Yeah,
there yet,
yeah.
but we're
We're
talking about
talking about it. He wants to know: do you cook them to finish at different times?
it. No, we do not. We actually finish everything at once. I shouldn't say that. Our shoulders that finish on the bottom of our shoulder smoker, we still cook on a Pro Junior, and the bottom's the coolest area. So the ones that are on the bottom, we're on the very bottom for the longest period of time at the overnight cook. So typically those are, they're a few degrees cooler than the rest, and those go in the Cambro and get held after preliminaries. They go back in the smoker and get finished off. So I guess yes, we do. They all go on at the same time, but because of the variance in temperature, the ones on the bottom are running a little behind, and they get
I
finished
got
after
you.
preliminaries.
Okay, so you got some cooking at a little bit cooler temperature.
Right,
You can
that's
get
right.
them back up and get them going. Okay,
To
yeah.
maintain more moisture for the final round.
Yes. I think Wesley had caught me on the barbecue beat. Bring on the whole hog class. Wesley, it's coming, brother. We have talked to Mark. He is graciously wanting to come in Barbecue Champs Academy and perhaps do a Memphis in May class where that's what he'll cook all three of the meats that he was talking about just a minute ago. So
Yeah,
we
you guys
that
out there listening, you'd like to see a Memphis in May class at Barbecue Champs Academy. Tell us what you'd like to see, what you'd like to learn. If you want to know about ribs, whole hog, shoulder, if you want all of those things, if you think a Memphis in May class would be beneficial, post up. Let's get a little poll. Let's throw it out there and find out
yeah.
how many are really interested.
Yeah. Let us know because we had talked about doing all three: a whole hog, shoulders, and the baby back ribs. That was what we was going to put the three classes together.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if you hey, I don't want to jump in a whole hog or a shoulder, but man, I'd love to go to Memphis in May. And Glenn said, hell yes. So, and I know Wesley, I know he wants to do it. We've got several people interested, so that is something that we're going to do. We had it planned right when this COVID stuff had started back in March, and trying to get stuff in here. It was just we're having a little harder time. Mark was having a hard time getting the hog that we needed. We had weather that was not the greatest, and it just didn't work. So yeah, we are definitely going to do the three classes, Wesley. I think we're just going to sell it off as a whole package where you can get all access like we normally do. Look at Sterling. Sterling, you're the only one, brother, two-time lamb champion in Australia. We'll bring your butt in here, Sterling, to do a whole lamb. So, but anyway, yeah, I think that'll be great. That is something that we're working on, and we got a lot of things we're working on with Barbecue Champs right now. I really do want to thank everybody that has been involved and supported us, and we just continue to try to grow. Just continue to try to grow it, and we've got some great guys on here, and we got more state grill masters coming. We got a couple new ones that are fixing to hit here not too long from now. So we're continuing to grow it, and that's what we want. We're getting a lot of feedback of what people want, and we're trying to give you what you want. But at the same time, not anybody can just. I joke with the guys all the time. I ain't even good enough to be on my own dang cooking channel. So anyway, but we are really trying to bring caliper people that have won world champions or runnered up or just some pretty high stats. And this guy right here is got about as much as you could possibly decorate up the walls with awards and stuff like that. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about your rub company, Mark, because I know that is a big proponent of what makes your barbecue so good. And I'm going to give guys a little teaser because we don't ever like to tell a whole lot, and I don't want Mark giving out what he's doing in his class. But I tell you what, you had a little thing, a little saying in there about how you keep everything balanced, and we're not going to go into that. We can get you into that class, and you can find out exactly because he will tell it all to you. So, but you created your rubs to kind of mimic flavor profiles that you was working. Was you just not happy with what you was getting, or you felt like you could kind of Look, like your injection. Holy crap! Where's that stuff at? I don't know if I've got any back here. There it is. I think it's right there. That stuff right there. That pork injection. That stuff right there
It's what
is.
we use right out of the bottle, mixed with water, just like the directions say.
Yes, I'm just telling you right now. That is some amazing stuff. So tell us your journey down there. How did you go about doing that, Mark? I mean, did you
Man,
just felt like you needed to create something? You wanted to
I didn't
stand
know anything
out?
about making rub. Around here, we have a company here called Newlywed Foods, and they make a rub called Flavorama Number Five. And Flavorama Number Five is what everybody here used. If they didn't use that, they used Strawberries rub from the Boot Hill, Missouri, and
Yeah.
Kennett is a very well-known rub.
Yeah.
It's good as well. And my buddy was from the Boot Hill, and he taught me to use Strawberries and Flavorama, and they're great. Um, but if you're a cook, it's hard to leave well enough alone. A lot of times, you love to experiment. You like to make things better. You
Yeah.
like you like to see people's expressions when you throw something new on them. So we like to make it our own as well. Um, just for no other reason, but to say that we did, it's ours.
Right.
So I started playing with a lot of different additions, really changing Flavorama or Strawberries to make it my own and to make it the way I wanted it. Um, and to do that, I didn't know much about blending rubs or balance or what seasonings I needed to use to achieve the profile that I wanted. So I started looking online, and I found this book by the Baron of Barbecue. He calls himself. His name is Paul Kirk. If you guys haven't been around a long time, you may not know who Paul Kirk, but he is a barbecue legend out of Kansas City that has written more books and taught more classes on barbecue than I can imagine. But he has a book. If you don't have it, I highly recommend it. If you're wanting to come up with some of your own stuff in your own kitchen, it's called Barbecue Sauces, Mops, and Bastes. Barbecue rubs, sauces, mops, and bastes. You can buy it on Amazon. It's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a lot of good recipes, but it also has a format, and it has sort of a formula that you can follow to put your own seasoning together. He has a lot of them in there, and I followed. I probably made just about every rub in his book,
Mm-hmm.
and I sampled them. I let my buddies taste them, and we wrote down comments on those recipe cards of everything we liked or did not like about those rubs. And then once we did that, I went back and pulled his formula from the beginning of his book that talked about proportions and how much of this to put in, ratios of savory ingredients to sweet and salty ingredients. And then I started using that as a formula to come up with my own barbecue rub formula, and eventually came up with it in 2004 or 2003 or four. Really kind of settled in on the recipe that it is today. And I think that's what it took. Is it took a little bit of guidance from Paul in his book to really put those ratios together to figure out exactly how to achieve that balance of flavor that we get out of our rub.
Right. And then I know you went from that into the sauces and stuff.
Sauces came later on. One of our teammates, Richard Lackey, was always our sauce guy. He always made all of our comp sauces, and does a great job. All in small batches, hard to recreate some of that flavor, except when you're doing it in a small batch. But whenever it came, I started to try to want to produce my own. I asked Richard for a little guidance, and he helped me out. And I'll tell anybody else, what he told me, and I took that and grew it and developed it and made it my own. But a base, equal parts of salt. I'm sorry, equal parts of ketchup, vinegar, and brown sugar. That was the ratio that he said. Start with equal parts of ketchup, vinegar, and brown sugar.
Brown sugar.
And so I asked him, well, what kind or what's this? He's like, you're getting too deep now. He said, you got to make it your own. He said,
Right.
I'm telling you that, and that's all you need to know. You can do it on your own after that. And I'm telling you, that's all it took, is that gives you a base to start from, and then you can start using the same cookbook to formulate some of those other flavors and make it your own.
Wow, that is an interesting story. Well, I know one thing, you have got some amazing product. I mean, very, very, very well diverse line. Scott wants to know what's your next sauce that's coming out. So,
I can tell you. It's a Worcestershire sauce.
Really? You do have one coming out?
I have my own Worcestershire
Oh
sauce,
my
and
gosh.
it hails from Arkansas. It has a deep history in Arkansas. A
Really?
good buddy of mine introduced me to it a few years back,
Wow.
and he gave me a sample of it, and I wrestle a sample of it every time I see him. And
Wow.
I asked him about it the other day, and he entrusted me with the recipe and asked me to take it and run with it.
Wow.
And we're doing it. We're going to take it and run with it. It is a very unique
Neat.
Worcestershire sauce
Well,
that
Scott,
is flavor
you heard,
packed.
everybody heard it here first on Barbecue Champs Academy. Thank you, sir. That's pretty good.
And
Let me,
we'll give you the source of it on the bottle. When you get it, you have to read it for yourself. But the source of it is a good man that came up with an awesome product that he knew it was good, but I was just like, man, you got to do something with it. You got to do something with it. And he just passed it. He entrusted me and passed it on to me. So I'm very grateful
wow.
and you may know who it is. The man's name is Joe Wilson. We call him the Squirrel Man.
Right.
And so Joe Wilson entrusted me with his recipe to carry on and have that developed. So thank you,
Right.
Joe.
Well, we were sitting here talking about some of the things that you have accomplished, and I do want to go back real quick, and I want to touch on a couple moments real quick before I get too far away from me. But I know that was your most recent world champion with Mr. Joey Smith, and
That's awesome right there.
that was some good times right there. I remember you telling me about the story that Joey was sitting over there crying, and you walked over there, and what did you tell him?
He was sitting over on the cooler and he was just bawling and carrying on, and everyone was partying back at the tent. And I was like, hey man, how does it feel to be a world champion? And that joker turned and looked at me with tears in his eyes. He goes, holy shit, I'm a world champion.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, why don't we go? There's a party going on back there. Why don't we go back and go party with everybody? Let's go. What do you think?
Yeah.
He goes, oh, okay.
There you go. Oh my goodness. I want to pop up another picture real quick. There's that whole hog that we were talking about. I'm sorry I didn't pop these up when we were talking about it, but I forgot I had some pictures. Heck, I was so intrigued of all the stuff that you was saying, but there was a beautiful whole hog that you had done. So it looks like you opened it up. Looks like you got some good sauce on it and everything as well. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, we kind of did an open top cut. Some people call it like a bikini cut where you leave straps across
Okay.
to hold it in, but we did an open top cut to where it sagged down, and you got lots of bark on the bacon and all
Okay.
through the loins and the top of the shoulders. That was not afraid to experiment with things. It can only, sometimes you can make it better. Sometimes it's not going to suck at the end of the day. And that one turned out really good. That we won the Pigapalooza at the Operation Barbecue Relief Party that time, and had a great time with it, man. It was we did some whole hog classes for some folks in before that, and it was just an awesome party. I won a couple of those Pigapaloozas, and some of my other buddies have won a few of them. It's always been a big time at the American Roll. We're going to miss it.
Yeah, I know it. Well, let's get back on your product. I know you've got Terry Roan. Mark, pickles are the best. Terry, if you haven't had, Mark, tell him, the pretzels. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. When he was down here filming his class, he had some pretzels that he had, and I could not stop eating them. They were the best dadgum pretzel I'd ever ate in my life. And oh my goodness, those things were good. So if you not had the pretzels, I urge you, you got to get the pretzels. They are good. All right, so we know you got some other stuff with Sweet Swan of Mine. You've got your own line of rubs, your own line of sauces. I want to talk about an amazing little cooker you've got. And give me just a second. We're going to pop over here, and I want you to tell us about that little beast right there. That little beast right there.
Yeah, see, along with some of these rubs and like I was talking about the new sauce coming out, these are brainchilds of a lot of different people, and that cooker is the same way. It's a brainchild of a backwoods smoker. Backwoods smokers came out with the patio originally. That was their very first smoker.
Right.
And then when they eliminated it from their lineup way back in 2008 or so, I had a lot of customers still asking for it. And so I came to Backwoods and asked to, to be able to sort of buy the rights to produce that cooker and have
Right.
it packaged for sale and make it shippable,
Right.
and make it a little more affordable. So they agreed, and we took that thing and had it engineered from a grill manufacturer in China that really helped us make it a little simpler to produce and reduce the
Right.
cost, and even added some better features like stainless steel inside box, which
Yep.
was never
Yeah.
part of the original design, and stainless steel corners and latches and handles, all those
Right.
high quality stainless steel latches, corners,
Yeah.
handles,
Very
and then
good.
being the inside box is stainless, it's going to last a lot longer. They reduced the number of pieces so that we could press, instead of just press breaking and putting things together and rivets or screws or tacks, all those things, a lot of those pieces are stamped out and molded so that
Right.
they're a lot fewer pieces and it's a lot more rigid.
Yeah.
So those things are put together on the assembly line and powder coated and packaged with lots of packing and
Mm-hmm.
cardboard angles and foam, and to make it to where you can ship it on a FedEx truck and it actually gets there in one piece. So
Yeah.
when we came out with that, our initial order on those things was 2,000 pieces,
Wow.
and we're sitting probably right now on only about 500 left.
Wow.
And that, unfortunately, that company went out of business.
Oh
So
no.
we're working with a new company right now, putting together some new models and some new units to see a few little tiny things we're going to change. Some things we've learned
Right.
throughout the cooking process. Like originally, that smoker was only a water smoker, and we've since learned that it's an awesome dry high heat smoker as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we're going to make some changes to make it a better dual
Cooker.
purpose smoker, both water and dry high heat. So we're going to make a few changes there. Packaging wise, not much difference, but we're going to make a few changes to make it better on the next round that comes out. And the next round that comes out will most likely be produced stateside.
I'll be dead gum. So that's good. Well, tell us how much that thing is, Mark.
That little cooker is $275, and it takes about $50 to ship it almost anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
Anywhere between 40 and $60
40 and 60
to ship
bucks to
it.
ship
I
it.
can ship it for $40 to Mobile, Alabama, or I can ship it for $60 to Bakersfield, California. So
Right.
depending on where it's going, it may take a little more, but for the money, it's very portable, it's very affordable, it's very consistent, it's easy to use.
Yeah.
Great
Awesome
little cooker
unit.
for the house.
Yeah. I'll tell you how good it is. After he did his class, he was getting ready to pack up, leaving the next day, and I was sitting out there, and he was still in the trailer, and I was out there cleaning up and getting everything done. I looked at that thing. I kept opening it up. I looked at it, and I was like, he ain't getting out of here with this thing. I'm just going to tell him that thing. I was so impressed with the chicken that you cooked on that dang red box. I was like, I'm just buying. I said, Mark, you ain't getting out of here with this. So how much is it? And he said, it's brand new. You can have it. I'll hook you up. $275. You don't have to pay no freight. And I was like, deal. And you already had the fan on it. I bought it with the little guru that was on it, the barbecue guru, and highly recommend it. It's so awesome. First cook off I go to, cooking in a BCA competition. I cooked a spatchcock chicken in it, fourth place, right out the gate. So I cooked
And
at
then
the
we came
wax.
back into the backyard class, and Craig Sherry wouldn't let me go home with that one.
Yeah, I know it. Craig was like, nah, you ain't. He was the same thing. Let's see, Ashley, 3-hour brisket in the red box. Yeah, man, hot and fast, that's for sure. So,
He did a 10-pound flat yesterday in his, and he called me and goes, man, this thing's 195. I put it on at 12, and I looked at my watch like, it's 3 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, boy, you're doing it right.
yeah, I tell you what, that is a great little smoker. I love it. I have cooked on it probably about 7 or 8 times. I keep switching back and forth, playing around with going back to my other one. I'm like, man, why are you doing that? I had a 23rd place at the IBCA cook-off in Waxahachie. I think it was 280 teams. I had a 23rd place chicken on that thing, and it was strong. I was like, and I think that was like my 5th time to cook on it. It's a good little cooker. I wish, if you're going to redesign it, Mark, make the thing 2 inches wider. Just, it's, I don't, it's great for a spatchcock, but in IBCA sometimes we like to separate our halves, and it's just not quite big enough to
Yep.
get the 2 halves in there.
Yeah, we're
So,
doing it a couple inches wider and a couple inches deeper.
yeah, if it was 3 inches wider. I think that would be perfect. That'd be just enough. You'd have a little room, let the air get around them. Okay, so now you're going to make them stateside. So do you? Obviously, I'm sure the price is going to go up some, but are you? Yeah, you think we're still going to be under 400 perhaps?
Oh yeah.
Because now you'll have to pay the freight to get it here, so that'll help.
Yeah,
so.
it's like I said, it's still a long way to go to get there,
Right.
but that is our goal, is to try to produce them stateside
Yeah.
and make a few additional upgrades, and to be able to produce them stateside a little more efficiently.
I got you. All right. Well, let's see. I know I wanted to certainly talk to you about your rub and your sauces and all that stuff. Definitely the red box. I mean, I think that is, if you don't have one, if you're looking for just that small little backyard cooker, I'm just telling you right now, that is the way to go. I think it's the perfect entry level backyard cooker for sure. You can grill on it, you can smoke on it. I've got a friend of mine that that's looking at getting one. I've already talked to a couple other people and told them, man, you got to get one. I mean, I love them, but I
got
think just
right here that makes cookers. His name is Jack Woods. He makes Woods custom cookers, and he bought one.
Really.
And his wife's like, "You're seriously buying a cooker? You build cookers every day." And he's like, "Yeah, but I can't build this cooker as cheap as I can buy this."
Oh, I know it.
And he loves it. He's like, "Look, it doesn't make sense to fire up one of your big competition pits every time you want to cook. It makes sense to fire up a little something small for a small amount of food for cooking at home or camping or tailgating or whatever." So he's like, "I can't build it that cheap."
Yeah. I'm 100%. Hey, 18 pieces of charcoal. That's it. That's it. 18 pieces. Had that chicken running at 400 degrees. 45 minutes, that chicken was done. That was like a 4-pound spatchcock chicken.
Hey, I've been cooking cakes in it. I've been doing all kind of different. We did a cake video the other day with it.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it cooks anything, man. I mean, you can cook low and slow with water, which is how we do our ribs.
Right.
But you can cook hot and fast. Ashley said he does a 3-hour brisket. That ain't a little brisket. That's a big piece of meat.
Right.
I've cooked many of them in anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. I've cooked a pork butt in 4 hours. So you can cook hot and fast with it. You can cook low and slow. A lady even sent me a Facebook message. She does a lot of Tarasco cooking. So Rodizio with live fire, and she uses a red box to do these little cheese soufflés in like little muffin tins.
Right.
And he uses 3 sterno cans in a red box, and she said 3 sterno cans gives her 300 for 1 hour.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
You can do all kinds of things, whatever you want. Heck, I did the other day. I figured out how to cook a steak on it.
Yeah.
So I did 7 or 8 different trial runs, and finally hit a second place steak in a field of 70 steak cookers on the red box. And then 2 weeks later, in a field of about 70, I hit a 9th.
Wow.
Off the red box. Cooking a steak. You would never thought it.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's right over the coals. I mean, it literally is. You take that water pan out, I'd say that bottom rack is what, 6 inches, 8 inches from the bed of coal, probably 8 inches from the bed of coals. And I mean, you can put some heat in that bad boy. Get you a little grill grate for it. Already got one. Man. And 75 pounds. It's light. It's insulated. I've got a little table that I set it up on. Man, that thing, it's the bomb. I'm just telling you, it does. It cooks. I haven't cooked the steak on it yet, but I would imagine it's got everything that you need to cook a good steak. So
yeah, and every week now, we're posting up videos on how to cook different things in the red box on YouTube. So we've got a YouTube channel. We're starting to, keeping the funnel full of content. So we're filming 2 or 3 videos a week to make sure we've got new content coming out at least once or twice a week. And so we're doing a lot of different recipes on the red box, and we're starting to film different things, not just recipes, but different ways to achieve the end result on the red box, whether you're talking about cooking dry or whether you're cooking wet, how to set it up, how to light your coals, how much coal to use, how to set the dampers, how to work with barbecue gurus on it, how to do it without it. So we're going to do a lot of how to, not just recipes, but how to use the red box to achieve what you're wanting to do the best way.
Yeah. Well, make sure that y'all go over and subscribe to Mark's YouTube channel. Mark, what is the channel?
Yeah, just go to Sweet Spot of Mine Distributing by Mark Lambert on YouTube. And you have to log in to subscribe. So if you don't have an account, it takes just a second to create one. But if you go in there and subscribe, you'll get to see every time we post a new video, you'll get a notification. So if you have to rely on Facebook, you have to hope that Facebook lets you see whenever we post a new video out. They don't always let you see our posts, but if you subscribe, every time a new video comes out, you'll get a notification that Sweet Spot of Mine posted a new YouTube video. You can go and watch it. So
yeah, everybody, give Mark some love. He's really trying to grow that channel to 1,000. He's at a little over 600 right now. So if you're just sitting around, we got a few more minutes on this show. You can still listen and drop over there real quick and go hit the subscribe button. And I know Mark would appreciate it and help him show some love. So
yeah, we're going to be having a lot of new content on there coming up. Not just red box, not just recipes. Everything from butchering to we did a whole hog on there the other day. We did a whole hog video, but it was more of a catering pig. It wasn't competition at all. But how to do a whole hog for a bigger event. So you have a lot of different content on not just recipes, but like even smoker reviews and how to maintenance tips and how to change out maybe like we did how to change an old hickory from gas to natural gas propane, or how to install new gaskets, or different things like that, smoker tips.
Right. Well, I tell you what, it's a lot of good information, that is for sure, and you're doing a great job on that. Even there you go, David said, great job on the videos, Mark, doing good. Highly recommend them. They are very, very good. So, hey, there's James. He just got back from a trip and missed it. Where's the site described? Go to YouTube. Go to Mark's YouTube channel, James. It's Sweet Swine of Mine. And James had recently bought your class. Since we're talking about classes, and we know we've got at least 2 people in here that has bought some classes, let's go over here and share a little bit of love where they can find that at. So this is at BBQ Champ Academy, and it's bbqchamps.com. We're the world's first online tell-all barbecue cooking school taught by, look at that group right there. I mean, that right there was an unbelievable day of filming. Mark Lambert, Lee Hickle just won the 2019 IBCA Team of the Year. There's Mr. 2-time world champion Sterling Smith. Oh, I think it's 3 because he won lamb here this last time out. So I think he's 3 times now. Craig Sherry, Texas Pepper Jelly, 2-time world champion. There's Mark's cooking buddy Joey Smith, won the Houston Livestock Show Rodeo in 2019. He also owns Texas Chrome. We all got together, day and a half of filming, 20 recipes for $99, and it is some amazing food. I mean,
something else that you don't hear very often that most people may not know, because it kind of feels like if you're not first, you're last.
Right.
But Joey Smith and I, when we get together, sparks fly. So we cooked together the first time at the World Food Championships 2 years ago. And guess what? We got runner-up in barbecue. We were second place overall in the barbecue division at World Food. Then we went on to cook, Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. We finaled the first year we cooked. Went back and won overall grand the second year we cooked together. Right. And then guess what? We went right back this year. And darn near won it again. Yep. And we were reserve champions at Houston this year. So, man, we get together. There's some goodness happens.
Hey, the way I look at it, if you got a grand, or a reserve or a grand at a world, man, that is huge. There's some of the food that we turned out, unbelievable. And Mark did this Peking duck with an orange marmalade drizzle. Oh my gosh, them things were so good. But let's get down to the classes. Here's all the pitmasters. We got Robbie Royal, Corey Mikes. Here's buddy Joey, Mr. Mark Lambert. Sterling, Lee Hickle, Craig Sherry, David Bosca. We just got David's class on with Butcher Barbecue. He is an amazing cook himself. Our state grill masters, Alan Newton and Shauna Rapolo, John Lindsay, Todd Machado, and Mr. Terry Roan himself, the 2018 world champion. But I want to come back up here, Mark, and let's go to your class and take a look at 35 videos, 8 hours. You cook brisket ribs, pork butt, and chicken. You did this in a full-blown KCBS style. And I'm telling you right now, you can watch these on any device, desktop, laptop, mobile. We have an introduction package where you get all 4 of the classes: brisket, ribs, pork butt, and chicken. It's $599. That's $100 off instead of buying them individually. And the cool thing is, and we've got a couple guys on here that have bought your class, bought your all access. But when you buy that all access class, you get access to a private Facebook page. If you got any questions, anything that you need help with, Mark is here to help you. And we think that is the one thing that really stands out. But those
What's
chicken
really
legs,
cool that most people don't realize about these classes is that, if you're watching this all the way through and you go, man, what did he say? How do you separate that brisket again?
yeah,
You can go right back to trimming brisket, and and this thing is segmented so that you can watch
there it is.
just this one little portion. See, look at that. How to select and trim a pork butter, how to select and trim a brisket, how to make the injection, how to inject it. So you don't have to scroll and buffer and scrub through all of that to find exactly what you're looking for. You can click on that little segment, watch it over and over and over until it's right there.
Yeah, that's the one thing. And that brisket box, I don't know how many times I have posted this on our Facebook page, but man, that was an absolutely gorgeous brisket box, the way that you did that.
Not only were those burn-ins awesome looking, but man, they
were some kind of crazy good. That pork butt, 12 videos. You are the pork king without question. Ribs, chicken, those chicken legs were so dadgum good. Anyway, $249 for one individual class. Hey, if you just want to get started, $249 gets you one class. You can add another class for $150, so you can get 2 classes for $399.
I'll tell you, this wasn't available when I got started, guys. It was
man.
People guarded every little thing they did. People didn't share information. This wasn't available, and people just didn't talk about what they did. They guarded it. Competition was secretive,
Yeah.
And people didn't tell you what they did to win, what sauce they used, or what kind of rib or pork that they used. These days, all this stuff is out there, and it's available. And I'll tell you, if I could have gone out and taken a class before I started cooking, the money that I would save would be astronomical, man, because it costs $1,000 to go cook a contest.
Yeah, you're right.
Guess what? If you don't get any return on that, well, that's not an investment. That money's just gone.
Gone, yeah.
So invest just a little bit of money in one of these classes. And if you're just doing even a backyard contest, you're cooking ribs, invest a little money in one of these rib classes.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it will return. It's an investment. It will return in the form of prize money, because it took me years and years and decades of learning to come up with this process and how we do what we do.
Oh,
and
I know it.
If you could get online and click on it and watch how to do it back in the day, can't imagine where we'd be.
That man right there, Mr. James, he is a backyard cook. He has taken Sterling's All Access class. He's taken your All Access class. He's bought all of our backyard barbecue classes. And I'm telling you, did you see them ribs that he cooked the other day?
Man.
Oh, my God. This guy he would be deadly. He's not even a competition cooker, but he has learned so much. James, I'm going to get you on here one day, brother, because you are a true inspiration to all of us. While we started this, we sold a lot of backyard cookers classes this last month, and it was really, really good. One other thing I want to touch on real quick, Mark, our time's just about to wrap up. But you have got a big competition that you're putting on at the Sweet Swine of Mine Distributing Company, the BBQA 2020 Whole Hog National Championships. Going to be November the 14th. Gosh, we're all jonesing to get out and go cook. It's going to be held at your Sweet Swine of Mine Distributing. I know we're cooking whole hog. That's obviously in the title. But what else we got going on that day?
Hey, this is really still all in the works. Nothing is solid yet other than we're having a contest. But it is going to be sanctioned by the State Cook-Off Association. So there will be a couple of state contests involved in this. Right now, the plan is to have a state contest on Friday. So we'll have a hog selection, hog and cook meeting on Friday morning with steak selection and hog selection. Okay. So there will be a steak turn-in after the hogs go on Friday. There'll be a chili ancillary that'll go on because things are kind of cooling down. To be good to have a little chili. So the chili ancillary will happen Friday night, and then we will have a whole hog contest on Saturday. and it will be a combination of on-site and preliminary. On-site preliminary and blind preliminaries. There will not be a final round, so we'll combine on-site and blind scores from our whole hog. It's going to be a little different. Probably only going to have about 10 minutes for presentation instead of 15. It's still going to have the same criteria. We're going to add a couple of things in there, appearance-wise, for our judges to look at.
Okay.
The difference in this contest is we're going to provide all the hogs.
Okay.
So there's going to be one hog purveyor, and just like when you draw a chip for stake selection, you're going to draw a chip to select your hog. You're going to get
awesome.
the hog that's got that tag and that number on him. You're going to cook that pig.
Wow.
You're also going to have somebody there. We're going to make sure this is all in the up and up. A lot of the other sanctioning bodies I don't believe are doing enough to ensure the integrity of the contest.
Right.
We're going to ensure that everyone's cooking the same meat and they're turning in that said meat in the box and to the judges.
Kind of like they do in Houston.
We're going to find out who the best hog cook is,
There
not
you
who
go.
can just buy the best meat or who can play the game the best. But we are going to do it right, and we're going to make sure that we get the best cookers in the world here to compete, and we're going to make sure they have good meat to do it with. We're not only going to do that, we're going to have a great time. We're going to turn another steak in on that Saturday. We're going to have a great time with whole hog and steak all at the same time. There hasn't been another whole hog contest all year.
Yeah.
And we're going to hold the only one, and Lord willing, and COVID doesn't rise, we're going to have the only whole hog contest in 2020.
Right. Wow. Well, I tell you, James posted up here just ago. It's so worth the money if you want to have people want to come to your house and bother you every weekend and then buy the classes. Yeah, he's had a whole host of folks. James, we're going to get you on the show, buddy. I want you to kind of tell us your experience and everything. But yeah, Mark, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm glad that you are putting this on. I think it's going to be a great event, and I appreciate you doing that. So
stay on the lookout. We're gonna start promoting it and posting, our sponsors, and we're gonna do more to talk about how the judging is going to happen,
right.
How you can get signed up, and what size the pigs are going to be, and all the details will come out as soon as we solidify a little bit more of it. But be on the lookout. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. So, if you're not friends with us on Facebook, subscribe to make sure that you get those updates when we start.
Updates. Absolutely. And we'll make sure that we'll post it on Barbecue Champ Academy's Facebook page. We're going to do everything we can to help push that out for you. Well, Mark, I tell you what, brother, I appreciate you being on. This has been a great show. A lot of cool information. My hat's off to you, man. You are an incredible cook, an incredible friend. Love you dearly, man, for what you do and teaching people. That's what it's all about. And once again, I want to thank all of our partners that help make all this possible. We couldn't do a lot of this stuff without you, and we want to thank all of you guys as well. Mark, I appreciate it, man.
Thanks for the opportunity and everything that you do, Mike, and to promote and help people learn and share information. And we really appreciate what you do.
I thank you a lot. I appreciate it. I really do. It means a lot coming from you, Mark. We're trying one cook at a time. That's all we can do. Well, I hope everybody's enjoyed it. We certainly have. Until next week, we will see y'all Tuesday night at 7:00. And what's his name? I forgot. That's it. He's saying goodbye to us. We got a lot of people telling us they're heading out. They enjoyed the show. And anyway, I'm really excited about it. But be back with us again. Once again, like I said, next Tuesday night, 7:00. We've got maybe a couple special guests that we're still looking at bringing. We're going to kind of mix it up, not just with our world champion Pitmasters, with some other guys as well. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. Mark, thanks a lot, buddy, for being here. Have a lot of fun. Be safe out there, and we'll see you guys next week.
Good night, everybody.
At 7:00 Central.